If you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do, all these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Alex. Today, I want to talk to you guys about skin issues, specifically acne. Acne is something that plagues most of us, especially in our youth, but it also persists in some people through adulthood. So today we're going to talk about types of acne, skin types, and some general tips and skincare routines that folks can use to reduce their experiences with acne flare-ups. So first up, we're going to talk about the types of acne. So we tend to just talk about acne as being a catch-all term for whenever we get clogged pores. But to be honest, there are actually a few different kinds. There is a really easy way to split them up, and that's generally going to be non-inflammatory acne versus inflammatory acne. Non-inflammatory acne is really referring to when your pores get clogged and they look like blackheads or whiteheads. That is actually considered to be the mildest type, and it's pretty easy to recognize it when you see it. That's what we generally think about when we think of acne. And in those cases, those blackheads are usually darker in appearance and are looking like they're almost flat against the skin, whereas whiteheads are going to be more like small skin-colored bumps. Inflammatory acne, on the other hand, is any type that has kind of a reddish appearance or it's larger. And that can be anything from being papules, which are those small red bumps, but they don't have any pus or that little white mark on it. If it does get pus in it, that means it has become a pustule. So a lot of papules actually become pustules, and it usually takes a few days for that to happen. You also have nodules, which are these little hard surfaces beneath the skin, and cysts, like in cystic acne. You may have heard of that before. That one is widely regarded to be the most serious type of acne, and cysts form underneath your skin at that point and kind of accumulate. And that's usually a combination of bacteria and oil from your skin and dry skin cells that get trapped in your pores. Cystic acne also tends to be the largest in size, and it's deeper down in your skin than the other types of acne, which pretty much seem to rest just on top of your skin. Cystic acne can sometimes look like boils on your skin, and it could be large pus-filled cysts, large white bumps, really red patches, or it can be tender, painful areas as well. So this is also the type that is going to be more painful than others. And those are typically larger than your usual pimples, and they usually feel like they're underneath your skin. So a lot of times we think about acne, and especially those latter kinds, as being linked to oily skin. And excess oil is a known contributor to acne breakouts, but you can still get acne if you have dry skin, and that can be due to a myriad of reasons. It could be your skincare routine that's irritating your skin and causing clogged pores, or it could be something in your environment that is causing those clogged pores despite not having excess oil. So knowing what type of skin you have can really help you choose the best type of skincare routine for your acne. A lot of doctors, dermatologists specifically, say that there's a really easy way to figure out what your skin type is. Go ahead and wash your face with a mild baby soap, quote unquote, or, preferably wash your face with actual face wash. That would be generally better than using the same soap that you use on your body and stuff for your face. Then gently rinse it off, pat it dry. Do not put on any skincare products. Don't put on makeup or anything either. So do this on your day off if you usually wear a lot of makeup, or if you usually wear makeup each day at all. A couple hours later, go ahead and examine your skin. If it looks shiny, then you have oily skin. If it looks like it's a little bit red or rough or flaky, then you have dry skin. You can also have combination skin, and that generally means that your cheeks seem dry and your forehead is shiny, as well as your chin and nose, or what we call the T-zone, because your forehead and your nose form that T shape. And you also have quote-unquote normal skin, and that means they just won't have any of those other visible issues that we talked about already. They won't have oily skin, or it won't look like it has a shine or a sheen to it. It won't look flaky or red or rough or a mix of any of those. So you can also be acne prone without having dry or oily skin. You can have combination skin or quote-unquote normal skin and still end up with acne. However, a lot of folks who have had acne in their lives only get it just once, really, in their lifetimes. And there's a couple of different things that you can do about it. In general, you can go ahead and just wash your face in the morning and at night and after sweating. So if you are going outside and you live in Texas and it's 95 degrees out right now, you guys, and you're sweating, go ahead and wash your face when you go inside. It's going to feel nice too, but it's also going to help with your pores and helping to unclog them right when the new stuff is already settling in there, and making sure that that gets cleaned out. And remember to pat dry. Don't rub it dry. If you wash your face more than twice a day, unless you're super sweaty, that can actually irritate your skin some more. So you don't want to do it more than that twice, or also when you're very sweaty at that point. Having a little bit of perspiration is okay, but if it's heavy and you're very shiny and damp and oily and you're looking like Brendan Fraser from Bedazzled in that scene where he makes the wish to, I think it was to be famous for that one, Elizabeth Hurley makes him into a basketball player, but he sweats like crazy, and they actually ran a water tube and stuff up into his hair for it to make him sweat like a maniac. If you're sweating like that, definitely wash your face again. And, sometimes, guys, that's me when I go to the gym. No judgment. But you definitely want to wash your face after that point. But if you're just having a little light perspiration, you don't necessarily need to go ahead and wash it again. You also want to make sure you're not using exfoliants a lot and you're not using hard ones. So acne isn't really just dirt getting into your face. So scrubbing it harder and using those types of hard exfoliants will usually just lead to more redness and irritation, and it's not really going to help you in the long run. There's a very specific way to exfoliate, and we will talk more about that later. You also want to make sure that you don't pick or pop that pimple. I know. I love Dr. Pimple Popper videos, but dermatologists are trained in how to do that appropriately. Just buying a comedone extractor online does not make you a dermatologist, so make sure that you're being really mindful about that, and you don't want it to scar you guys, and it can scar if you pop pimples. It can also end up transferring bacteria from the pimple into other pores around it and making what was a small pimple and might have been more of perhaps a blackhead or a whitehead turn into something bigger like that cystic acne or another type of inflamed acne. If you do have to pop your pimples, there is a proper way to extract them, and you need to open your pores up first. So generally the way you can do that is put a warm compress, like, a warm wet washcloth over your nose or wherever the pimples are to open up those pores, and then use clean Q-tips to gently push down on either side of it to help it burst. If you have to force it, it's generally not ready yet, and you should not be messing with it right then. It's also really important that you try to avoid doing that when you have those deeper acne types, those inflammatory types, like the pustules and definitely cystic acne and the nodules. All right, we're going to go on a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some more tips and some specifics of acne. Stay tuned.
Are you looking to learn more about the latest trends from the fitness world? Are you confused by all of the different trends that are out there? The GSMC Fitness Podcast is the place for you. The GSMC Fitness Podcast is the place to come for people of all skill and interest levels. Join us as we explore the latest trends in the fitness world. Does that new exercise really work? Should I try yoga? Whatever your question, chances are good you'll find an answer on the GSMC Fitness Podcast.
Before the break, we were discussing some of the basics of acne, including the different types, the different skin types, as well as some general tips and tricks for helping to prevent acne. Now we're going to continue discussing some different ways to prevent acne, as well as some skincare routine information. So firstly, make sure that you routinely wash anything that comes into contact with your skin. This is generally the first tip that I give to anyone who asks me for skincare advice. You want to make sure you're washing your makeup brushes, your bedding, your phone screen, and especially the washcloth that you're using to wash your face with or drying your face with. You want to make sure that you aren't keeping just a face washcloth, as a lot of people I've known over the years have. And they're like, okay, this is like my body scrub or my body washcloth that I use, and this is my face one. It's good that you're using different ones. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm really getting at is that you're using this washcloth to help get a lot of this bacteria and stuff off of your face, right? You're using it to clean your face or to dry your face after you have cleaned it. However, once you've done that, that oil and debris and stuff is now on that washcloth. So you need a new washcloth the next time you wash your face. Yes, I would even extend that to saying you should do that in the morning and at night when you're washing your face twice a day. You don't want to be reapplying bacteria to your face once you have already washed it, right? But that is essentially what ends up happening in a lot of cases. There are special types of soaps and stuff that you can get to wash your makeup brushes without messing them up. You should also be wiping down your phone screens. Alcohol is a really easy one to wipe down your phone screens. It tends to go ahead and dry really quickly. Of course, be careful. Use your own discretion when it comes to using something liquid around your phone. But alcohol tends to work pretty well in my personal experience for that. But again, use your own judgment. Also, your bedding. Change that pillowcase frequently. Go ahead and flip the pillowcase over and use a different side as well. You don't want to be making your face all clean at night and then laying down for 8 hours or so and perhaps even sweating and getting that into the pillowcase. And then the next night when you lay down to go to sleep with that clean face, you are getting more of that bacteria back onto your face. So that's going to help prevent you clogging your pores. And in order to do that, the American Academy of Dermatology actually recommends that you change your sheets each week and you change your pillowcases 2 to 3 times a week. So you're going to want to be changing your pillowcases more frequently than you change your sheets, really. You should ideally clean your makeup tools every day, but I know that for a lot of us that's not really feasible. And by every day, they mean really after each use or each application. That's a lot of effort, and I totally get that. So try just washing them once per week at your minimum. So that's only 4 times a month that you're going to have to do that. And that really is just going to depend on how many brushes that you tend to use. So if you're putting on bronzer as well as highlighter and blush and your eyeshadow, and you're perhaps using a few different brushes for your eyeshadow for blending and everything, and then you have another blending brush for your blush and for your bronzer, and you're also using something like that or a beauty blender to apply your foundation, make sure that you're washing all of those things. They all need to be washed. You don't need to wash your eye pencil, you guys, just the brushes and stuff. But make sure that you are throwing out your makeup at the recommended points. And for a lot of that, that's about at the 6-month mark. However, that depends on what type of makeup it is. So I have learned firsthand in the past what happens if you do not throw it out when you should. I don't tend to wear makeup a lot, and that's partly, I think, why my skin tends to be really clear, is I have a set skincare routine, and I don't put much on my face that could also clog my pores. But with this type of stuff, I've gotten a clogged pore before, like on my eyelid from an old eyelid primer, actually. And at least I think that's what it was, because that's the one that I threw out. That was the oldest thing, and that's what I had applied as the base there. And that was causing the problems. You have to keep in mind that when you keep using these things, if you are not washing your brushes each day, which I get is really not feasible for most people, then you are introducing bacteria back into the makeup each time that you use it. So anytime you apply your makeup and you don't wash the brush directly before that, anytime it touches your face and then you touch it back to the actual makeup, then you are already introducing bacteria into the makeup. So I don't mean to make you panic. It just means that when you have it in these containers that are liquid especially, that's where bacteria tends to thrive. It likes moisture. So in those cases, you are more likely to need to replace those more frequently so you don't get a sty or a clogged pore or a breakout or anything like that. They're not fun, and then you really can't wear makeup for the duration, or at least you shouldn't. A lot of people will still cover up acne or other types of infections or breakouts and stuff with more makeup, but that's going to take it longer and it could lead to scarring. So everybody gets pimples, you guys. Just let it ride. Go ahead and take care of it. Let it breathe. Wash it regularly the way that you should, and you'll be good to go. So with your makeup, when should we throw it out specifically? If you're using liquid foundation, 6 months to a year. If you're using cream makeup, still 6 months to a year. Also, if it feels clumpy or it looks weird, go ahead and toss it. Especially those cream shadows. You need to replace those more often than cream concealers or blushes. Those are especially coming into contact with your eyes, and you don't want to risk that. For your lipstick, 1 year. And you want to make sure that it's still spreading appropriately and gliding on smoothly. If it's not, then you want to go ahead and dump it. And make sure you're storing it in a cool, dry place. Don't leave it in your car's cup holder. That is not going to be good. That warmth is also going to help the bacteria grow. So put it in a cool, dry place. You can also keep powdered makeup up to 2 years. So blushes, setting powders, highlighters, etc. As long as you're cleaning your brushes, then you're going to help that last a super long time. Eyeliner, liquid eyeliner, toss that after 3 months. So again, you're putting that straight into your eye. essentially, and you have that in a closed liquid container. Pencils, good up to 2 years. Make sure you do toss them at that point, though. A lot of us will try to go ahead and just stretch it if we still have it. Don't do it. Just toss it. I've gotten a sty from using an old eye pencil before when I could not find my new one and I had not dumped the old one. I was like, oh, I'll just use this old one. No, that was bad news bears, guys, and I should not have done that. So just make sure that you are keeping that in mind and tossing it. You can keep a little list in your makeup drawer if that helps. So my friend Hayden taught me that, not specifically about makeup, but I have adopted it for makeup now too. But she taught me that for stuff in my kitchen cabinet that I can't always see, like my spices and stuff, because I have so many of them. And she made a list of them and just taped it to the inside of my cabinet. So no one else can see it when the cabinet's not open. But when I open up the cabinet, that's super helpful for me to know which things I do have and which shelves they're on. So I highly recommend that. And you can do that with your makeup too when you bring something home. Like I recently got a new eyeliner pencil. And when I got that, I'm like, okay, I got this in February and I need to go ahead and mark that February 2020 so I know when I should throw that out. Because those are 2 years for the pencils. If it was a liquid, you should go ahead and probably put the precise date on it. So be mindful of that. You also want to keep your pencil liner sharpened, and actually keeping them in your bathroom is kind of a bad idea. If you're adding humidity to it again, that is warm and wet, and bacteria love both of those things. So if you keep them in your room, which is where I keep mine, then that is going to be a lot more helpful. Same thing for mascara. It's liquid. It goes on your eyes. It's in a tube. You're going to toss that after 3 months. They do tend to also dry up quickly, and you want to make sure that you throw out the wands as well so you don't get conjunctivitis. Fortunately, that has not happened to me, knock on wood, but I have gotten the clogged pore and a sty from not throwing out eye makeup frequently enough. So with your face moisturizer, after 6 months, toss out the little tubs of the moisturizer, and if it's in a pump, toss it out after a year. You want to make sure that if you're getting cream out of those containers, get it out with a fresh Q-tip and not with your fingers before you apply it to your skin. Otherwise, you're taking all that bacteria that's on your fingers and under your nails and everything and putting it into that jar, and then you're closing it up and essentially incubating it in this warm, moist environment. If you're getting it out of the pump, do not directly touch the spout of it, the little opening, and that can help you prevent contamination. Sunscreen, it also falls under the purview of makeup. Toss that after a year. You want to make sure you're tossing it at that point, because it is really important to not be introducing any bacteria to that. And also, if you're using the amount that they recommend, and that's pretty much enough to fill a shot glass to cover your face, your neck, the tops of your ears, and your chest, about down to your cleavage, then that bottle shouldn't last you that long anyway. So make sure you are using the recommended amount as well. If you put it on too thinly, then it's not going to work. And I don't know how frequently you guys go out and use sunblock, but we go tubing a lot in Texas, and I have had some weird patchy sunburns before, you guys. Usually on like the back of my arm or something, and it's usually really small, about the size of like a silver dollar or something, but I have missed it before, and it has made a weird puzzle piece kind of shaped sunburn because I didn't get it on thickly enough then. I was in a hurry to get into the water, so do make sure you're using that appropriately. For nail polish, toss it after a year. I know that is not really something that's going to infect your cuticles or your nails, but it's going to streak and then it'll be ugly, so toss it. Well, since we're talking about it already, just toss it. Perfume, 8 to 10 years. So some of them can last up to 10 years. So just keep them out of sunlight and humidity to help them keep their original scent. And some of those will last a really long time. Maybe don't touch the spout on those either, but overall you're not very likely to get any type of infection from perfume. All right, we're going to go on a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some more of these tips and skincare routines. Stay tuned.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about the importance of throwing out our makeup at the appropriate times in order to prevent the introduction of bacteria to our faces, as well as washing anything that comes into contact with your skin, including your makeup brushes once a week, your pillowcases 2 to 3 times a week, and so on. You can also wipe your phones with a special cleanser once or twice a day. So I typically use a type of alcohol for mine, and by that I mean like 90% isopropyl alcohol. That's what I personally use. I do have a screen protector and everything on mine as well, but you can also get special cleaners for that. But I do recommend once or twice a day. So keep that in mind when you're washing your face twice a day, that you should also be wiping your phone. Another thing you can do is also buy non-comedogenic products. So we've seen that a lot on stuff. Non-comedogenic, what does it mean? Non-comedogenic refers to not producing blackheads. So a comedo or comedones, if they are plural, are essentially blackheads. They're clogged pores, or they're the material that's in the clogged pore, really. And so that's what we mean by that. So when you're watching these videos on YouTube and stuff of doctors popping stuff, and we talk about comedo extractors, that's what they're talking about. It's usually blackheads that they're using for that, and that's why they're so fun to watch, because those are the ones that come up through the little hole or the little loop that's on there, and they kind of tend to be really big and long, especially if they're going to be on YouTube, you know? But non-comedogenic means it's not going to generate or produce comedos, blackheads. So a lot of times it will also say oil-free or non-acne-genic, so not generating acne, or that it won't clog your pores. Sometimes it's very simple on the label. It just depends. But a lot of products that we use say that nowadays. It's important that we do check the labels for that though, and every product that you use on acne-prone skin should have the labels oil-free and non-comedogenic on them. Now, if you just have acne on certain areas of your body or of your face, then you can use the non-comedogenic products specifically on those areas and use something else for the other portions of your face. Make sure you are fully reading these labels though, because being non-comedogenic is not enough to be good for your face. You also want to read that ingredients list and see if it has anything that could potentially irritate your face, like alcohol or fragrances. You don't want those to be in your facial care. You don't need your face to smell really good. That's what the perfume is for, and that's for like your neck and your other pulse points. You don't really want to be putting perfume on your face, and you don't want to be putting alcohol necessarily on your face, because that can be very drying and it can irritate your skin even worse. So make sure you read those ingredients lists. You also need to think about your hair care routine. I know, who would have thought? Because it's not skin, it's hair, but Some of your hair care formulas can cause breakouts, especially in and around your forehead and your neck. If they have oils in them, then they might be the culprit if you are getting acne around those areas of like your forehead and your neck. Oil in your hair can also go ahead and get on your skin and make it worse. So try to keep your hair off your face, especially at night. Another thing that I would recommend is if you have bangs, wash your forehead more frequently. Wash that area more frequently. It's just like sweating more. You're going to have more of that oil go ahead and rub off on you. Another thing that you can do instead of washing your forehead area or wherever the bangs are hitting you more often is to wash your bangs more often than you wash the rest of your hair. Just like that oil can transfer onto your skin from your hair, it can also go the other way and reinforce it. So if you've ever had bangs before, you might have noticed they get way oilier than the rest of your hair a lot of the time. And that's a big reason why. If you're comfortable with pinning your bangs back sometimes, go ahead and try to do that as well for your look. It also just adds some variety to your look, you guys. I highly recommend it if that's something that you're comfortable with. In addition to that, you want to stay hydrated. Remember when we talked about our episode about skin that we also talked about the importance of hydrating for your skin. That is also important when it comes to acne. If you keep your skin hydrated, it can also help to fight the excess oil that can lead to acne. There's been limited research to support that, but there has not been a lot of research to say, don't do it. We just have to wait and see what more research we get to back this up or to tell us something different. But so far, there is no harm in drinking 8-ounce glasses of water per day. It is what is recommended as your minimum amount of water intake each day. And remember, if you're working out and stuff and you go to wash your face, also drink some more water. If you're sweating for any reason and you need to wash your face because you're so sweaty, you should probably go and drink some extra water too. Put it on your face, put it in your face. You also want to be mindful of diet and supplement claims because there are a ton of supplements online where these brands claim that their product is going to get rid of acne. I know, I sound super anti-supplement all the time. I'm not saying don't take supplements, you guys. I'm just saying get them from food whenever you can, and that includes a lot of these that they are recommending that you take these supplements for your acne. Unless you're really deficient in a particular nutrient, then you don't really need to go ahead and put more of that in your body in supplement form. There's really not much evidence to prove that that helps your skin very much. And as we discussed in the vitamins and minerals episodes, you can get too much of a good thing. So you can get vitamin toxicity as well as some issues with having too much of those certain minerals in your body too. You don't want that. Unlike water, you can get too much of those. Granted, you can actually overdo it with water. It's called hypernatremia, but you're not going to get that generally from the 8-ounce glasses a day. You have to drink quite a bit of water for that to happen. So even though there's not much evidence for whether supplements or water really helps the skin, go ahead and still drink the water. Maybe avoid the supplements. You have more to lose by being wrong in that aspect. That also goes for your dietary advice. There's only been a little bit of research that has linked diet to acne. So you can still have pizza and stuff, you guys. You are welcome to have some pizza as a treat, and it is not necessarily going to mess with your acne. You don't need to just cut out a specific nutrient or an entire food group just because someone on the internet has said that that might help you with your acne. Talk to your doctor first. Specifically, a dermatologist would be the most helpful for that because you do already need those vitamins and nutrients, those vitamins and minerals, rather. And we talked about the amounts that you needed and everything and the difference between macro minerals and trace minerals. So you do need them in your body in certain levels. You don't want to just totally cut them out trying to get rid of acne, because it could have some farther reaching effects on the rest of your body. All right, we're going to go on a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the things that we should do for our skin. Stay tuned.
The GSMC Life and Happiness podcast takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible. Download the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Before the break, we were discussing things that you might want to avoid, like diet and supplements online that are promising you that they're going to eliminate or prevent acne. We also talked about changes to your hair care routine and different types of products that can be irritants for your skin. So now that we've covered some things that we should avoid, let's talk about some things that we should do for our skin. So a skincare routine that is not right for your skin type and the types of issues that you're facing with your specific skin can actually cause more problems in the long run. So if you have acne-prone skin, you can find a lot of different products at your local drugstore and even local grocery stores at this point to help you out, since a lot of grocery stores have drugstores in them at this point. So some of them do tend to be more specialized and you have to get them from specific retailers, and that can make them more expensive. So what I'm going to recommend is just a general guideline of what to look for. As always, if your doctor tells you to do something different, follow the advice of your doctor. They are the expert in this. And the more lightweight the product you use on your skin, the better it is for your pores. So, some ingredients that are supposed to be really good for your skin include salicylic acid. So you probably already have heard of that one, and it's in a lot of different skincare products. But what does it specifically do? Well, it helps to unclog your pores and also to reduce some of that inflammation. So that's especially helpful if you're having that inflammatory type of acne. It's also going to really help you with your blackheads and whiteheads, and it can help your pustules disappear quickly too. So you can kind of use this across the board, but especially if you're having that white spot popping out, then it's going to help you with it. You can get some of those pads and clearing gels to go ahead and remove that. Make sure they have salicylic acid in them, and you want to make sure it doesn't have other stuff in it, again, like those fragrances or alcohol. Benzoyl peroxide is good for your skin as well. So it kills acne-causing bacteria. So while the salicylic acid unclogs your pores and reduces the inflammation from infections that are already there, the benzoyl peroxide is going to kill the bacteria that causes the acne to begin with. It's going to be best for inflammatory acne. So when you're at the store, go ahead and check out products that have benzoyl peroxide as an active ingredient in them. Retinoids are also really helpful for your skin because they exfoliate the surface of your skin and they remove those dead skin cells that, if they sat there, would otherwise potentially clog your pores. They also help stop inflammation, the retinoids that is, and they are in a lot of people's acne regimens. So if you are just starting out, go ahead and check for products that have retinoid as an active ingredient. Your dermatologist can also prescribe stronger retinoids if you are really needing them. So you can speak with them about that as well. So really, these three things work very differently. So it's not like you're choosing between salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide or retinoids, but you want to check for products that have each of these in there. They don't need to have all of them in one, and your doctor will definitely let you know if you need to be using them at different times and so on. But one unclogs pores and reduces inflammation, one kills the acne-causing bacteria, and one exfoliates and also helps stop inflammation. So these three types of materials do three different things. Now, in the morning, what should your routine look like? We're going to do morning, evening, and as needed. So in the morning, you're going to want to use a cleanser. So cleanse it in the morning. That's really important, especially if you have acne. Even if you don't have acne, you should probably cleanse your skin in the morning. If you have oily skin, try an oil-removing foam wash, perhaps, and you can use a special cleanser for dry or sensitive skin based on the label if that is the type of skin that you have. For your toner, you're going to want to use that next. That's going to help you get rid of any excess oil that you have after you've already applied your cleanser. So one of my favorite products out there, my favorite brands, is Murad, M-U-R-A-D. All of the stuff that I've gotten from them, especially all of the samples from Ipsy and whatnot, have been absolutely excellent. And again, that's for my specific skin type. So I do have probably normal to combination skin. My T-zone does tend to get excessively oily, and I have trouble with blackheads around my nose area, you guys. But the rest of it, it's not actually really dry, per se. I just don't really have anything else going on my cheek area for the most part, especially since I stopped touching my face so much a long time ago. So keep that in mind for Murad if you have that type of skin. I'm not sure what else you could use it for. It just is going to depend, but there are types like their clarifying toner that was designed specifically for acne-prone skin. So they do have some specialized products as well, and I've been a big fan of their stuff so far. After that, you're going to want to use moisturizer. Even if your complexion is oily, a moisturizer can still help keep your skin hydrated. So you can get a moisturizing lotion that won't clog pores or a water gel. A lot of times they'll recommend more of a gel if you have oily skin instead of a lotion. With sunscreen, put that on after your moisturizer, and some acne treatments can increase your skin's sensitivity to light, weirdly enough. So I know it sounds strange to say, okay, strip your face down with the cleanser and the toner, and now pile on some moisturizer and sunscreen. But remember, you're also getting the type that's appropriate for your specific skin type. So keep that in mind as well. Acne-prone skin still needs sunscreen, and they recommend really a broad spectrum SPF 30 sunscreen for most folks, and you can get an ultra light one or a facial sunscreen. I do keep 2 different sunscreens for myself, one for my face and one for the rest of my body. Lastly, this is the part where you put on your makeup. So it's not essential that you put on makeup, and you guys know I don't tend to wear it very frequently. And even when I do, I tend to not wear foundation because I'm fortunate in that I don't usually tend to need to. But sometimes I do wear it, and I make sure I take it off very well at the end of the night. However, that said, there are also some types of foundation and cover-up sticks that have salicylic acid in them. So remember, that helps you to reduce inflammation and to help clean out those pores. So there is a middle ground, you guys. All right, we're going to go on another break, and when we come back, we are going to discuss our evening routine and the as-needed component.
Are you tired of the same old news? Are you sick of the seemingly endless political spin and negativity? The GSMC America Still Beautiful podcast is a weekly news podcast covering all the top positive and uplifting news stories. We cover stories that will inspire, uplift, and remind you of the good in the world. Tune into the Golden State Media Concepts America Still Beautiful podcast to get all the great and positive news stories of today. Download the GSMC America Still Beautiful podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Discussing our morning treatment for our faces and the specific ingredients that are really good for your skincare routine. Now we're going to talk about the evening routine. If you've ever changed a car battery, it works a lot like that. So you remove the negative cable first, then the positive cable, but when you connect the battery, you're going to connect the positive in first and then the negative. So last off, first back on. And in that way, that's what you're going to do with your evening routine. First, makeup remover. Go ahead and remove it properly to make sure you keep those pores unclogged. You can go ahead and get a special makeup remover for it. I have one that is more of a balm than anything else, and I really am loving it. My friend Sydney taught me about using balms to remove the makeup first, and I absolutely love the one that I have now. Next, once that makeup is removed, then you use your cleanser. Your cleanser is not the same as your makeup remover. You want to go ahead and get the makeup off first, then cleanse. Because throughout the day, you can end up with a lot of grit and grime on the surface of your skin. That's really fine, and you can't necessarily see it. So go ahead and gently get rid of it with that cleanser. And there are all kinds of types of cleansers. Again, you guys, there's foaming face washes, there's cleansing lotion, there's all kinds of stuff depending on which type of skin you have. So read those labels, talk to your doctor to get the one that is best for you. After you've washed off your makeup and you've cleansed your skin, then you can do your spot treatments. So going ahead and doing it after cleansing can help the ingredients work their way into the skin. They're going to get in there deeper than they would be able to if you didn't put the cleanser on first, because the cleanser is removing stuff, and so is the makeup. So it's like an ogre. Ogres have layers, onions have layers, and so does your makeup routine for the evening. You're taking off that layer of makeup, then you're taking off that layer of dirt and grime, and anything else that's worked its way into your skin throughout the day and clogged it up, that bacteria and everything as well that we can't see, and then the spot treatment. So if you strip it down to the level where it's just bare skin, there's no bacteria and stuff there, then you can go ahead and do that spot treatment, and it will really be able to work its way in and do what it needs to do. You can use one to treat existing pimples, and you can also use them to prevent scarring or work on scarring that's already existing and to stop new breakouts. So that's when you're going to put on like an acne clearing gel or another type of treatment if it's specifically for acne that we are discussing. Also remember that when you're putting on these treatments for your face, you're going to put them on in the order of the least viscous to the most viscous. So the thinnest to the thickest. So when I do mine, I'm going to go ahead and put on my really thin under eye retinol cream stuff. It's almost like a gel in a way. Then I go ahead and put on my moisturizer over that. And if I'm going to wear a moisturizing mask to bed, I'm going to make sure that that really thick stuff is the last one that I put on my face at night. And then again, it's the first one that comes off in the morning. Lastly, for your facial treatments, the ones we do as needed. We do not need to do a face mask or an exfoliant that frequently. Those are usually just once or twice a week for the most part. Exfoliants in particular, you're going to use that once or twice a week to remove those dead skin cells that can block your pores and lead to breakouts. Be really gentle around your eyes, like right under your eye. You don't want to be putting them on your eyelid or anything like that. But if you're going to be putting them near your under eye area, especially if you wear glasses and you get those little tiny dead skin cells there and you can kind of see the little bumps, make sure that you're really careful with that, because that is a really delicate part of your skin and it's really easy to hurt those capillaries that are underneath it and to hurt the skin there as well. If you exfoliate once or twice a week to get those dead skin cells out, that's going to really help keep your pores from being blocked, and it's also going to help prevent breakouts. If you don't have a ton of time, you can use some types of cleansing pads. But remember, although the under part of our eyes are really sensitive and the skin on our eyelids is really sensitive, your face skin in general is typically pretty soft. So you want to make sure that you're not scrubbing hard on it or hurting it in any way like that. You also can use a serum or a type of cleansing pad for it. In addition, this can change a little bit depending on the type of skin that you have. So if you have dry or sensitive skin, then you only want to do it once or twice per week. And a lot of doctors will recommend a chemical exfoliant, although speak with your doctor specifically to find the one that is right for you, especially if you have certain types of acne like cystic acne, those inflammatory types. If you have oily or acne-prone skin, then you're going to do that twice per week or 3 times per week, and you can use either a chemical exfoliant or a physical one. You know, the ones that are gritty, those are the physical ones. If you have combination skin, 2 to 3 times a week, and you can use chemical or a physical exfoliant. And for mature skin, you can go ahead and do it twice a week and use a chemical exfoliant is what is recommended. Keep in mind, you do not want to use both on top of each other. That can be really bad for your skin. It can really irritate it because you're taking those layers of skin off, and it's like stripping part of your skin with the chemical, and then you're literally rubbing like sand and stuff into it. And that sounds kind of painful, right? So does grinding your skin down with like sand, kind of like sandpapering your face a little bit in a way, and then tossing some chemicals on it. That doesn't sound great either. So don't do those back to back together. And when they say 2 to 3 times a week or once per week, when they're saying that, they mean you should be spreading those out. It's not just doing them Wednesday, Thursday, back to back, and it's like, boom, I've done it 2 times this week. Spread them out. You want to have a couple of days in between the times that you exfoliate. Now, for your face, that's kind of important because you lose up to 500 million skin cells every day. So dead skin can build up pretty quick. If you have acne on parts of your body that is not just your face, that's totally normal, you guys. They talk about it a lot in I'm Not Okay With This, that new show on Netflix, because the 2 teenagers end up having them in weird places. So he has it on his back and she has it on her thighs, and they feel weird about it. But everybody gets it like that. Don't even let people trick you into thinking that they don't also get weird body acne at different points as you are aging. So you're in this with the rest of us, honey. It's okay. When you are looking at exfoliating, though, you can also get exfoliants for other parts of your body. Additionally, you can use a nice loofah to help scrub your body. So open up your pores and everything, get your skin really warm in a nice, relaxing, warm shower, and then go ahead and scrub some of that off, you guys. That is going to help you out a lot. If you have someone who can wash your back, or you can get a loofah on a stick or something, that would be really helpful as well. Because just like these things tend to help your face, it can also help your body. But just like that, you also do not want to be doing that necessarily every day and stripping your skin down too far. If you use chemical exfoliants, A lot of folks tend to use those more regularly than the physical ones because the physical ones are literally abrasive. That's what the sand and stuff in them is for, is to be an abrasive unit. That tends to be a bit of a lot for your skin to do that every day or multiple times per week. Chemical exfoliants do tend to be more okay to use more regularly as prescribed by doctors or as recommended by doctors in general. You can use the Glow Tonic from Pixie. I've had some good success with that, and so have several of my other friends who've gotten that from Ipsy, in fact. And it has glycolic acid in it to help clean your pores, and it has aloe vera to help calm your skin. So if you are going to use something like that, then keep that in mind. Maybe it'll work for you, but if it doesn't, that is okay. There is no one size fits all for these types of products because we are all different and our skin is all different as well. In addition to exfoliating, it's important to also keep this in mind for face masks. Good face masks can really help you with oiliness and impurities in your skin, and depending on the type, they can even hydrate your dry skin and reduce redness. So some places say to use them up to 3 times a week. Other websites are going to tell you to only use them once a week, like exfoliants, or if you use one, don't use the other. You should not use them together or back to back. That is important to keep in mind. So if you exfoliate on Wednesday, don't be doing that mask on Thursday necessarily. You're going to want to stagger those. If you have the type of skin that we discussed just a minute ago, that it recommended having 2 or 3 exfoliating sessions per week, and now, you're following the website that says you can do up to 3 face masks per week, make sure you're doing those on alternate days, or it's going to be a bit too much for most types of skin. It also depends on the type of mask that you're using. Mud masks tend to be more drying. Think about how it sits there and it dries on your face, and then it has kind of that cracking stuff going on. It can really be helpful for oiliness and impurities, but for hydrating your skin and reducing redness, you're going to want a different kind of mask, not a mud mask. Look for a hydrating mask. They have a lot of them now in grocery stores and stuff where they're like $1 or $2, and you can just unfold it and put it on your face. Keep in mind, you still don't want them to be heavily scented at that point either. Anything that's going on your face, you don't want a lot of heavy fragrances and stuff in them or a lot of alcohol, no matter what the product really is. So keep that in mind. Read the product labels on your exfoliants and on your face masks too. You can also use different types of masks on different parts of your face. So that's really what I'm moving towards right now with my combination type skin. I'm close enough to normal type that I can still use it all over my face and it be okay, but I think my skin is going to benefit more from having the T-zone with a mud mask and then my cheek area and stuff with more of just the hydration mask. So what I'm going to do is after I do my mud mask on just my T-zone and my chin area, I'm going to put on a hydrating mask. Whenever I do my hydrating masks, usually what I'm putting on is something like, it's yogurt, to be honest. I do a yogurt and honey mask, and that helps a lot with hydration for me. And I have one that has been pre-made. It smells a lot better than the one that I make myself with Greek yogurt, but I digress. It has like strawberries and some other stuff in it too, I think, to help you out, but it's not heavily scented. It just doesn't smell like milk is what it comes down to. So for me, that works out really well, and it's natural products. So when I'm putting that back on after the mud mask and everything, I'm not adding more chemicals essentially to it. Technically, everything is made of chemicals, but you guys know what I mean. It's not lab chemicals and stuff that I'm putting on there. It's just yogurt to help me out with the moisturizing process, and it makes my skin feel great. So if you have normal to combination skin, maybe try that out for yourself and see if that works. But you just don't want to do too many masks in a week, just like you don't want to do too many exfoliants because it can really overstrip your skin in many ways. And your skin needs that moisture, you guys. we're going to go on another break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about a few habits that we should all cut out of our routines in order to help our skin do better.
GSMC Beauty Tips Podcast gives you advice on everything from hair to fashion to skincare products. We'll talk about the latest trends in makeup, hairstyles, and anti-aging remedies. And we'll cover all of the newest fashion trends. If you have an interest in or questions about the beauty trends that might work best for you, the Golden State Media Concepts Beauty Tips Podcast has got you covered. Download the GSMC Beauty Tips Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about when to exfoliate and how frequently to do so and how frequently to apply face masks, as well as what our evening routine should more or less look like. So next up, we are going to talk about what we should be knocking out of our routines in order to make the most of our skincare routines and to get acne under control. So first up, one thing that a lot of my friends tend to do, and that I used to do a lot, was just try one product for like a week or so and then quit and try something else. I liked to mix it up, and I wanted to go through and just test out different skincare and hair care stuff that I found on like Tumblr and Pinterest and things like that. And so I would do stuff like that, and I would end up getting more breakouts. But in that case, it wasn't necessarily the product that was causing the breakout. It was jumping between all of these different products. It was causing more irritation to my skin than it would have if I had stuck with one product for a while. Just like when you are going on a different type of long-term medication, like birth control pills or antidepressants, you need to give your acne treatment time to work. You want to use that product for 6 to 8 weeks. And sometimes it takes just that long to see some improvement. And that's okay, you guys. We are all under stay-at-home orders right now. Go ahead and take this time to commit to a skincare routine. Start developing one for yourself. If you're not in meetings all day or with a camera on you all day, then you can sit there with a mud mask on for 20 minutes, and Ted from accounting isn't going to say a word about it because A, you're at home in your pajamas, and B, Ted can't see you. Unless for some reason Ted is quarantined with you, and in which case, I'm very sorry. Give Ted a mask too then, and then you will both look silly, and it will be fine. So what I want you to do is really work on that skincare routine when you have time. And it's important, I think, to make time for this sometimes. Remember, your skin is part of your health and your wellness. It's the largest organ in the human body. It is indeed considered to be an organ. So you want to take good care of it. And in order to do that, you just got to make a little bit of time for you. Keep in mind, you can put that mask on and go cook dinner. That's totally fine. Men, women, non-binary pals, everyone should be taking care of their skin. We often see these types of skin products marketed specifically towards women, but it's good for all of us to do this. At the very least, just get you a cleanser so you're not washing your face with the same heavy soap that you're using for your body. We all have to start somewhere, and it is okay if this has felt like a lot of different products. You don't have to go out and buy all of them immediately. It's just a list of recommendations, more or less, to help guide you going forward. So go ahead, try that product for 6 to 8 weeks. If you don't see any improvement by then you can try another product. But completely clearing your skin of the acne generally is going to take 3 to 4 months with these same treatment and using that treatment consistently. So if it has directions on the back of it, or your doctor has given you specific directions as to the frequency of its use, make sure you're doing that as well. Because if you're using it only sporadically for 6 to 8 weeks, you're probably not going to see some improvement. You're probably not going to see any improvement, and you're going to feel like you've wasted your time and your money. But really, you just need to do it a little bit more consistently. So perhaps get you one of those glass markers and write on your mirror. That's one of the things that I like to do. You don't have to, of course, but I enjoy glass markers a lot, and it also helps at parties once we're able to party again. But you go ahead and you can write your routine on there if you want, or keep a little calendar in there, whatever works for you. You can put a sticky note up, and you can even require yourself to cross it off if you need to visually keep track of it too. Do whatever works best for you to make it work for you. But mostly, give it time and do it consistently, and that's going to help you out a lot. All good things in time, my friend. In addition to giving your skincare routines and your acne treatments time to work, you also want to make sure you're applying the acne medication evenly over the acne-prone areas of your skin. If you are normally breaking out on your forehead, your nose, and your chin, then apply the acne treatment evenly over that entire area of your face. Don't just take a little dab of the acne medication and put it directly on the parts that are directly broken out. It's not really enough for your skin to just spot treat it like in a very specific way, like you're essentially putting freckles and stuff on your face, or like a beauty mark, that size, like the end of a Q-tip. You're trying to actually spread it over the entire affected area. And that means the whole area on your forehead where you're generally breaking out, not just the pustules or the papules or the cystic acne areas that you have right now. The entire area, not just the individual spots. That's what we're going for. Because if you only treat what you see, it's not going to prevent any new breakouts. It's just going to treat the one that is already there. So you're going to end up in a loop of just continuing to treat brand new breakouts and never actually preventing any. And in that way, you're going to go, what the heck? This doesn't work. Well, yeah, because you're only treating what's already there. You also don't really want to share your makeup brushes, or your applicators. And even if you are using a beauty blender, you still need to wash that. We tend to think about washing our brushes more often, I think. But the beauty blender should also be washed once per week when you go to wash your brushes too. And go ahead and squeeze those suckers out too, so you can get the rest of that moisture out. If it's holding on to moisture, then it's going to also be holding on to, you guessed it, bacteria. So whenever you're doing that, don't just leave the brushes soaked either. Go ahead and fluff them out, and that will help keep it cleaner, as well as not sharing them with other people, because you're trading the bacteria and the dead skin cells that are on one person's body onto another. And these are very small. They're like microns small. You're not going to be able to see them, but that doesn't mean that they're not there. You also should not sleep in your makeup. Now, I know that you probably already know that one, but all of us have been guilty of it at a certain point. I was just absolutely exhausted after a really long day of work the other day, and I did not wash it off completely before I went to bed. And I was like, oh, it's just blush and bronzer and a little bit of mascara, really. I'd even put on eyeshadow. It should be fine. And yeah, it was mostly okay, but now I have some little irritation on my skin from it. So just tiny little bumps. You probably can't see it looking at me, but I can feel it under the skin, and my skin is not happy, and I need to wash it more often. If you're too tired to wash your face, it's good to get a makeup remover towelette. Make sure it's non-comedogenic, because you want to make sure it's not going to result in any more pore clogging as well. And keep those on hand. You don't want to use those necessarily all the time. Those can also be abrasive in some ways, but you do want to get that makeup off of your face for the most part. Not taking off mascara can also lead to styes and stuff like that. So we don't want to do that. Try to do it whenever possible. But all of us will mess up from time to time. I'm out of my towelettes. I actually left them in a drawer and I didn't get the seal done all the way and they dried out. So I went to reach for them the other night and they were dried out. So I just collapsed in bed and immediately fell asleep. That's my bad. I should have taken my makeup off a little bit earlier after work in the evening. But I just felt so cute, you guys. I didn't want to take it off. Makeup is for us. It's not for other people. Go ahead and enjoy your makeup. But just remember, try to wash it off before bed. So not only did I not wash off my makeup, that means that I did not wash my face that evening, since the makeup has to come off first before you use the cleanser. Womp womp. We may all have different types of skin and be unique in our own ways, but we're all human at the end of the day. We also want to avoid drying out our skin, and even if you have oily skin, you don't want to strip your face down too far. You don't want to strip it down until your face feels just completely dry. Dry skin means that your skin is irritated in a lot of ways, and if you irritate your skin, then you risk getting more acne. So use those acne treatments as they are directed. If your skin feels really dry afterwards, then apply moisturizer that's made for acne-prone skin, like we discussed earlier. And you'll want to apply that moisturizer twice per day after you wash your face. You also want to avoid using any astringents or rubbing alcohol or anything else that can really dry out your skin. For millennials, my fellow millennials, I know that this sounds a lot different from what we were taught when we were growing up, but this is where the current science stands. So don't be using all of those astringents and rubbing alcohol and stuff to dry out your skin. Be careful with scrubbing your skin absolutely clean as well. Just like exfoliating too much can irritate your skin and cause more acne flare-ups, so can scrubbing too hard with either a towel or with a towelette, those makeup removing towelettes, and so on. Whenever you are applying cleanser, they recommend that you have clean hands, wash your hands first, and then apply that cleanser lightly with your fingertips in a circular motion and gently rinse it off with warm water, not water that's super hot or anything like that. And you want to go ahead and close your pores afterwards with some cool water. Remember, warm water is going to open it, so we need to close them again after we do anything that opens up our pores to help our pores not get more dirt in them. Whenever you are drying your skin, dry it with a clean towel by patting it. You don't want to be rubbing it. That can be really abrasive too and cause microabrasions. You might not be able to see them, just like the bacteria and dead skin cells that are there, but it can still damage your skin. You also do not want to rub sweat from your skin during a workout. If you are roughly toweling away sweat from your skin, it can become irritated and that can cause more breakouts. So just use a clean towel to gently pat the sweat from your skin. Are people going to maybe laugh at you at the gym? Perhaps, but your skin is going to glow. And really, they're probably not going to laugh at you. We all tend to think about things like that in our lives when we are going about our day-to-day and become anxious about it. But honestly, I don't care if somebody pats their skin versus rubs it when they're trying to get sweat off of their bodies. I doubt I would even notice, and no one else is going to care when you do it either. So just go ahead and gently pat it. If you are working out and you are prone to having back knee or acne on these other parts of your body, then you can also wear like a thin cotton tank top underneath your t-shirt as well, and that can help absorb some of that sweat too. That's just the undershirt principle, my friends. I hope this information has helped you guys out today. Thank you for listening to the GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'd like to ask that you please remember to subscribe to the show, and writing a nice review always really helps us. Also, if you could please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, I'd appreciate it. Thank you kindly, and have a good night.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.